Hey everybody, this is Mark from the Crystal Chronicles with another Should You Pull video. Last month this series was Should You Pull in 5 minutes or less, where I looked at every banner in 5 minutes or less. I did that just kind of as a fun thing. This moving forward, as I've been looking at the banners, I thought, it would be really more appropriate and maybe a little bit more interesting for you, for me to walk through what I am doing for this month. We did get the slides, quote unquote, from Squex last night on the 30th here in the United States. The TCC crew did do an impromptu stream, which is available here on YouTube. It is also available on any podcast app through our podcast on our website, tccpodcast.com, or you can watch the entire unedited version on Twitch Video On Demand. And so we walked through each of these slides and kind of talked about what we were excited about and not, in lieu of the official stream. So do check that out, and that was a lot of fun. So I thank you for Mino and Crease being part of that. But what I want to do is kind of walk through what my pull plans are for this coming month. And I won't be doing weekly videos, but we may do some other kind of fun content moving forward. But and if you have any ideas for things you'd like to see us and just kind of know about how we play and all that kind of stuff, let us know. I do remind you that we do record the Crystal Chronicles podcast, which is our flagship experience, every Thursday night. It is at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, daylight savings adjusted. For our Twitch audience, we record that live. Then I put it here on YouTube. I also stream that out to all of our podcasting services and on our website, tccpodcast.com. And so please like, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications so you can get this and so many other good things. But every week we come, we're approaching episode 100, and we're going to have tons of giveaways and fun things later with episode 100. This week is episode 96. So I'll look forward to that and much more. So let's walk through the banners that we had announced. And I just want to talk a little bit about each banner and about what my plans are for this month. All right. The first banner is Vane's Lost Chapter, and that brings back Vane, the villain from Final Fantasy XII. It also brings Paladin Cecil, his EX realization, and poor Cyan is there as well. But Vane and Pestle do get their realizations. They don't get really reworks or anything else, but their realizations do make them considerably more powerful. Now, Vane really doesn't get a lot of changes in terms of what he does. He just does it a little bit better. He's continuing to able to get free damage, free turns, renew his abilities, more breaks and unbreaking, and he's just kind of crazy and very good at what he does. Paladin Cecil is a paladin, which is kind of a defensive, offensive hybrid character. He does Holy Enchant and Imperil. He is able to heal the party over time, has a lot of utility and defensive auras and also offensive auras, but does some damage as well. And so both of them are kind of launched into the Chaos era. For this banner, I am not going to be pulling because I have both of these characters, both of these EX weapons. Paladin Cecil is one of my favorite characters, one of my top 10 favorite characters, actually. And so I already pulled on him. Vane, of course, was very powerful in the early EX era. And so he was in the Cosmos era, I should say. He is definitely one that I had. I am most likely going to purple both of these characters. We've been talking about the ingot shortage, and you might be able to conservatively estimate maybe 2 or 3 purples a month. If you're free to play and able to complete all the content, you can probably safely purple 3 characters a month if you have extra EXs to use the books on. If we assume about 6 books a month and 4 ingots a month. So, yeah, so we do have to be considerate. My question is, and again, this is what I am doing, and that's why, the whole idea of Should You Pull is kind of silly in a sense, because this game is so different for each of us. We each have a different roster, each have a different play style, we each have different favorite characters, and that's really true of any Gachu. But there are definitely characters, Aranea is a good example, that are just super broken. Yeah, you should pull. They're going to make your life a lot easier, but you don't need them because this is not a PvP game. You really don't. You're only competing against yourself. And yes, there's plates. And so you'd say, well, I've got a platinum plate. So you're competing against me if you want a platinum plate too. But at the end of the day, you are really only competing against yourself. So my question for you is, if you don't have either of these EXs, now if you have one or the other, you probably don't want to pull on this banner. But if you have both of these, you definitely don't want to pull on this banner. But if you have neither, do you really want to pull on this banner? Now, yeah, hey, I just started playing. Paladin Cecil's one of my favorite characters. Bane's, I'm really interested in his kit. It's very interesting. Both of their kits are very interesting, complex, fun kits to play. So, yeah, I think at that sense, this is a really good banner. They're both fairly great characters, very viable, worth playing. But if you're looking at these other banners coming this month, like, well, I really like this guy, I really like that guy, then I think this might be a banner that you have to pass on. And you really have to think, okay, do I have the ingots to purple 6 characters this month? Well, probably not. I mean, I do currently right now. I'll tell you where I sit on all that stuff here in a little bit. But I was hoping to have my game up, but we're still under maintenance for Apple users, unfortunately. But yeah, as much as I like this banner, and it's easy for me to say, oh, yeah, you should pull. This is great because I have both of these characters. But if I didn't have both of these characters, I may seriously consider skipping this banner and the next banner, which is Beatrix. Beatrix gets her event. Now, we had her. She was our first anniversary Global First. But Beatrix is now coming back on her own event with her EX Realization and Steiner with his EX and EX Realization. Steiner's pretty basic in terms of what he does. He's the mannequin killing guy, but he does nice splash damage and physical attack. And, people are comparing him to Squall. He kind of does some of the same things. I think he has some debuffs along the way as well. I do have him in Japan. I should probably play with him a little bit more, but he does what he does. Okay, he's not going to change anyone's lives. But if you're looking for some more physical attack and some AOE damage, or just really hate mannequins, he's the guy for you. But obviously Beatrix is the praise, and she is this again paladin class defensive offensive support. She's tied to the lightning element, but she does now give some really cool party buffs, including the defensive buff, which negates HP damage after her EX fully realized. So pretty powerful, pretty cool. I have her. I'm going to be realizing her. She is one of my, again, favorite characters. So this first week of April, I'm going to be purpling 3 characters: Vayne, Paladin Cecil, and Beatrix. 2 of the 3 of them are favorite characters. I really like playing Vayne. I think he's a really interesting character. So at the end of the day, that's really all of my purples for this month. If you hype those 2 banners and then hype the banners at the end of the month, who are you going to be pulling on? So again, I mean, if you really like Beatrix, you're interested in her kit, like that defensive support, defensive paladin kind of class, maybe she's the character for you. But again, Steiner's probably not the prize, sorry, Masalento, on this banner, and so she might be a skip for you. I'm skipping this banner because I already have her EX. I'm not going to pull for Steiner. We are getting the Phoenix in Japan. It was called the Phoenix Cave. I believe it's, I forget what it's called. Let me check here the actual language here. It is the Burrow of the Phoenix event, and this will bring us 2 banners. The more interesting banner is this triple EX banner with Noctis, Selfie, and Lise. We don't know 100% that we will get these exact banners. There will be 2 banners. We will get, I should say, we're going to get a multi-pull on Vayne. So yeah, pull on your multi-pull. We're going to get a free multi-pull on Beatrix, so pull on that. And we're going to get free multi-pulls for these 2 banners as well. Do I have the next one? No. So the 2 banners were in Japan. They were Selfie, Noctis, Lise, all 3 EX on that, and then Rosa, Barrett, Agrias, all 3 EX. I'm going to pull for Selfie. I don't have Selfie. I'm a huge fan of Final Fantasy VIII. I'm going to use tickets. I'm going to use 200 tickets. If I get Selfie, great. If not, I'm going to pass. That will be it. That's my pull plan. 200 tickets and then be done. I would like her. I like having support. I think I can make use of her at just booked realization, no ingot investment. for maybe lower tiers of Dimensions End, just to have, another support. I like having a lot of support characters. I think supports are, I'm always going to have damage dealers. I'm always going to have utility characters. I just end up purpling those kind of characters anyway. But supports are the ones that sometimes, for me, I need to really kind of focus on. So this is not, again, for a beginner, not a terrible banner. All three of these characters are fairly viable. And the other banner with Rosa, Barrett, and who else is on that banner? Agrius is not a bad banner. The problem is, again, this ingot shortage that does not allow us to fully realize. So, again, if you're a new player, if you're a veteran, you probably have several of these characters. And at this point, you're like, well, Rose is really good. Maybe I should pick her up. Well, did you get Pinello? Because if you got Pinello, you probably are fine without her. And there is a ton of other supports coming here, not this month, but next month and the month after. So this may not be the best time to pull for an older support, even though Rose is still very viable. Pinello's probably pulling you through, and even Selfie is not going to be as powerful as a lot of the other supports. So again, take your free pull on both of those banners, maybe get lucky, throw a few tickets on them. But unless one of these characters is really your favorite and you did not get them, remember, a lot of these characters are coming back with LDs in the next era. So again, this is why I'm not doing should you pull, because it would be, I'm skipping. I'm literally not pulling on anything this month. But I'm trying to tell you why and help you get into my head why I do this and how I think. And if that's, if that my style doesn't mesh with you, fine. But I've been pretty successful so far. So the next event is a chapter, Arc 2, Chapter 8, I believe. And that brings us the Leo banner. I was just checking. Yeah, Arc 2, Chapter 8. And Galuf is on this with his EX and EX realization. General Leo gets all of his gear, and Lilizette is on it as well. This is an excellent banner. Leo is a super awesome utility damage dealer, allowing the entire party to do additional brave damage. He looks real stylish, right? He's got that going. Galuf is a niche tank. He can help against single targets, not non-AoE, non-area of effect damage that is physical in nature. So like Celeste or Bosch, he's kind of a niche tank. He kind of has his place. He does pair well with other tanks because he can block for them. He has that block mechanic. With his EX and EX realization, he did become much better. Lilizette, even for a newer player, 1535 Lilizette might get you through some content. She's obviously much better. I use her with her EX. She's great. But so this is actually a really decent banner, especially if you don't have any of these others. If you don't have Vayne, Cecil, if you don't have Beatrix, this might be the banner to pull on this month, because these, General Leo is obviously the prize. A lot of people are comparing him to Aranea. He is very powerful, and he's going to get you through a lot of content. He may even pair well with Aranea. That's yet to be determined. He was used on a lot of content. He is an amazing friend unit, although we've done some looking at it, and I think RNA is still a friend unit. The other argument people are making is that, well, if you have RNA, do you really need General Leo? They do some of the same. They both delay. They both help increase party damage. They both do damage. Do you really need both of them? The basic argument for... and I think my friends Quetz and Macnell have kind of said this. The argument for is, well, why not have both? Because you can use each one on a different tier of dimensions and entropy, making your life a lot easier. So why not have both? And that's a good argument. The argument against is, we have limited resources, and this month's kind of packed. Next month for me is a little bit lighter, but looking into June and July. I'm going to have to stop watching Should You Pull videos, because every banner is going to be hyped. I know, just looking back in Japan, every banner is going to be hyped because every character every week is really good. And there's some amazing supports. There's some amazing damage dealers. There's amazing utility characters. And that's before Burst Era starts. And then we're going to have the whole LD Burst hype to buy into. And so I really do think these few months, and even the first couple months of Burst Era, until we get to Lifinia difficulty, are probably a good time to save, because if you can get away with, here's what I'm doing. I'm going to limit myself to one pull with gems a month. And that brings me to this banner, General Leo, which I'd certainly like to have General Leo. I'd like to have Galuf too. I already have a little set. I am going to throw tickets on this banner. I do not know how many tickets. At least 200, maybe more. Depends on how Selfie treats me, or if there's any other surprises in those two banners. If those banners get changed and something cool comes up, maybe I'll pull. But if I don't get General Leo, I will be okay. And if I don't get him, then I don't have to purple him, and I've saved additional resources. If I do get him, I can purple him. I have additional resources. I'll talk about that. But, for me, this is not a pity, because I'm going to limit myself for the next 4 months to one pity a month. Because we're making around 75,000 gems a month if you're free to play. And it averages out with a summoning board, so you kind of have to average it. Not every month we get that, but on average it's been about that. I can actually tell you from my sheet here, the average gems, the average free gems since, let's just do since the beginning. How about 6 months? The last 6 months, our average gems have been around 84,000. Those are free to play gems. Now every time we get a summon board, we are making over 100,000 gems easily. So last time we had a summon board, I think something like 100 and, this month was summon board. So I haven't done the end of this month to see how many gems we've gotten, but likely over 100,000. So yeah, one pity a month is reasonable. Hopefully you won't have to pity, and then you'll be saving some income for later. And so one pity a month, one big ticket a month, or a couple, 200 tickets a month. And really that's my plan. So this banner is great. And a lot of hype. People are going to be using General Leo. He's going to be a friend unit. But you can live without him. I think that's the good news. Now, if you didn't get Aranea, he's really good. He should probably be a priority for you. If you did get Aranea, maybe a less so. I'm still throwing tickets, maybe hundreds of tickets. So hear me, I'm pulling on this banner. But I'm going to be able to walk away with it without getting General Leo. That brings us to this poor Fran's lost chapter. Fran does get her EX and EX realization. Ash gets her EX realization. Belthier's on this banner without an EX. Again, they're both viable, but unless you really want, unless you like, I really heard what you guys were saying about pairing Aranea with Irving. But I'd rather like Fran. Okay, yeah, Fran is a good pairing for Aranea in terms of her range resist and her debuffs and everything else. So yeah, sure, throw some tickets and hope you get it. But there's so many better banners. And Lady Ash is, she has been my bane since the 1535 era, because she's never really panned out the way I've liked her. Yes, you can use her in content. And both of them, there's very few characters from this point that are not viable, that are just garbage. Let's just look back here. Vayne, Cecil, viable. Beatrix, Steiner, viable. Steiner may be the least viable this month. All three of these characters, Lise, Noctis, Ash, or Lise, Noctis, Selfie, Rosa, Barrett, Agrius, all viable. We've seen Lise has been much more viable than we even gave her credit for, thanks to the TCC community. Galuf, Leo, viable. Ash, Fran, viable. I think the two weakest candidates of this month are Ash and Steiner. They're usable. You're going to be able to use them in content, but they are probably the weakest links. Now, Ash is a support and does have that function, so you can never have too many supports. That brings us to the mysterious blue Golbez, Paladin Golbez banner, and he comes with Gilgamesh. So Paladin Golbez is a very interesting character who does what we're calling true damage. So it doesn't do a lot of breaks and doesn't do anything based on enemy stats, but does basically just base damage and can do a lot of it and do a lot of, you might call it gravity attack. And so he's very cool and has kind of a cool kit. Of course, Gilgamesh is, I did say Ash and Steiner were kind of the weakest links here this month, but there's Gilgamesh too. Gilgamesh is, the Brave Shaver gravity attacker. He does become a little bit better, and Kreese is pulling for his EX and EX realization, or is realizing him. We already have his EX, I think, right? So, Kreese will help us understand how awesome Gilgamesh is, and you can listen for that episode, which will be close to episode 100 to see how awesome Gilgamesh is. But again, unless these characters are favorites, I think this one's an easy skip. They are interesting, and you could get some life out of them. But for me, this is definitely a skip. And this one was a skip, the Ash Fran banner as well. I'll go over all this again. Now, this has not been announced, but the mobile stream for April is scheduled for Monday, the 27th, which still leaves several days at the end of the month. And so I believe probably by the end of the month or early May, we will get the Awakening Wave 10, which had really one banner that was worth talking about, which is Hope, Shadow, and Lightning. 3 triple EX banners, 2 new EXs, and all 3 being able to realize their EX weapons. Shadow's probably the weakest of the 3, although he gets Interceptor, which is pretty fun. And Lightning, of course, is just a beast and can solo some things now. Certainly lower tiers of Dimensions and Entropy she can solo. And Hope becomes a bonkers support and summons Alexander, who is my favorite Eidolon or summon creature. So definitely this banner is going to be one that I am pitying, and I believe this is really my one pity for April, even though this may be in May. I am assuming this is going to be in April, so I am counting this in my April pull plan, and I am going to pity this banner. I'm going to throw 75,000 gems at this banner. Regardless, I think I will, unless I get all 3 within 50,000, which I don't expect, I am likely going to pity this banner. If I get none of the EXs in a pity, I will take Hope. Yes, I know some of you are shocked, but he is pretty great. And if I get Hope and continue to pity, I would go for Lightning. Although we are getting an EX token shop, so I may just token Lightning because I'm not sure that anybody else is really fancy. So we'll see. I may not 100% pity, but if I have to pity Hope, that would be fine. Hopefully I get all 3. I'm not sure how I will invest ingots. I don't think I will have enough to invest in Shadow. I will definitely invest in Hope, and I may invest in Lightning too. She's fairly useful as a damage dealer. So that's all the banners. So here's just a kind of a quick look from my pull planner. I forgot to mention the Spring Festival we are getting tonight, as I'm recording this on March 31st. We assume Sephiroth, Vincent, and Kate Shi banner. That is, I have all 3 of those EXs, so that's the spring event. We get a free pull. I'm going to free pull and be done. Vayne, Pestle, I already have. I'm going to purple both of them, but I will do my free pull and be done. Beatrix, I already have. I will purple her. I am passing on Steiner. Selfie, I'm going to throw 200 tickets at. Regardless of what banner, who her banner mates are, I don't care. Noctis and Lise would be good. I wouldn't mind having Lise in the back pocket. I will do my free pull first, and then I will spend 200 tickets, and if I get Selfie, great. If not, I will move on. The other banner, unless it's something surprisingly awesome, I will not be pulling on. Leo, Galuf, and Lizette, I will be pulling on tickets, somewhere between 2 to 500. I don't know how many, but somewhere from 2 to 500. I'll go back and explain how that works. Fran, Ash is a skip for me. X-Death, Gilgamesh is a skip for me. Lightning, Hope, Shadow is a pity. If I do not get any of them in the 15 multi-polls, I will pity Hope's EX and move on. That is how that works. Currently, I haven't logged in today, so this is without anything from today, but currently I have 569,180 gems. and I have 928 tickets available in my, if you take how many tickets you have, but I have over 300 tickets in summoning boards, unclaimed. So I have over 1,200 tickets. So I am not unwilling to part with 700 plus how many ever we'll get throughout this month. So that is why I'm talking about up to 500 for Leo and then moving on. But I'm going to put a cap on it depending on how many tickets Selfie takes from me. If I get Selfie in 13, great, then I won't worry about it. But yeah, so that is my pull plan for the month of April. I don't think it's the most exciting pull plan. I'll try to do this if you're interested in this for the next month as well, to give you a little bit of sense of what I'm doing and what I'm thinking and why. But I'd also like to go through maybe on another video kind of all of my purples. I have a ton of purple characters and a ton of characters that are not in use in Dimensions and Entropy. And so, I don't want to go into a month where I'm purpling 8 characters and then they're all going to sit on the bench. I don't think that's a good way. I would rather purple 3 or 4 characters a month. And enjoy the game, and that's going to be the balance, finding ways to enjoy the game and saving a little bit for this next era. That's going to be much more taxing on our resources, especially some of us who are really going to try to pity various bursts, which is not a good idea. Never pull for bursts, but I'm going to do it anyway. So thanks for watching. Should you pull is my opinion, and this was literally just what I'm doing. Do your own research. The Tomberry Troop is a great bunch of people that do a ton of research. Check out their infographics every week. You can go to Safine's database. You can go to REM's Dissidia DB. You can check out every Thursday night the Crystal Chronicles podcast for all of our opinions. We are the only kind of video audio content that has different voices, and we do have a lot of guests on from time to time giving you kind of their opinions, and if people like certain characters we try to get them on to defend them, and we're going to do that throughout this month because I'm going to be skipping a lot, so we're going to need some extra help. So thank you. Hope you all have the best of luck, and good luck in your polls. Until next time, goodbye.